Hello, my name is Amber Daniel, and I have a question for you. Have you ever thought about the fact that the land that you are living on right now was once occupied by a Native American tribe? Have you ever thought about the fact that the land that your children are playing on in your yard, where they play at school, or where their schoolhouse is built, was once occupied by a Native American tribe? That is something that is really neat and really interesting to me, because the land that I live on today was once occupied by Native American Indians. I think that it is really important for us to go over the situations that happened and how the land was important for the identity of the Native American people, because what they did then affects us now. The Native American people survived off of the land. If they needed water, they went to the creek. If we needed a bottle of water, we go to Walmart. The natural resources that the land provided was what the survival of the Native American Indians depended on. Clara Sue Kidwell in text once said, "The land is the basic source of the Native American Indian identity." Not only were the Native American Indians successful in using the natural resources of the land to survive, but they were also brilliant farmers, and that's something that we're going to talk about today. The crops that the Native American Indians, some of the crops that they grew and were successful in growing were corn, beans, squash, and of course tobacco. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the land that the Native American used for their farming. The Native American Indians picked land that was near water, such as creeks and rivers, to become home for the tribe families and to plant their crops. Of course, they didn't have irrigation systems like we have today, and so in order for them to get water back to their crops and back to their families, they would have to carry them. So whenever it came time for them to establish their tribe housing and to plant their crops, they would try to find the nearest rivers and creeks. The land that I live on now, I have a short video at the end of my presentation that I want you to watch that I believe was used for farming by the Native American Indians, and that land is not even a mile from the Little River. The Native American Indians chose land that was, of course, rich in nutrients and fertility. To prevent land erosion, the Native American Indians would push up mounds of soil to make hills. This kept the land from eroding. The land that I have a video of, I don't know if you can tell by the picture, but this land is full of the mounds. And I believe that that's what those mounds were for. And it's funny to me that something that the Native Americans did so long ago is still in effect today, whenever this land is being used for grazing cattle and cutting hay. This is going to be a short video by me. This is land that has been in my family for a very long time, and there's a story that I've grown up knowing, and after going through this class and doing the research paper, I find that I believe that the story that I was once told may in fact not be true, and so this is a video of some of the mounds in our field and what they were used for by the Native American Indians.
I live in a small community in southeast Oklahoma called Golden. I've lived here my entire life. My mom was raised here. She moved here when she was about 3 years old. And growing up, we raise cattle. We have, a farm here. And so growing up, my mother would always tell me stories that she was taught by her parents and her grandparents. And they said that these hills that you can see in the video here were made by the Indian tribes, and that they would put their teepees on the tops of these hills to keep from, their teepees from flooding. And so I've always believed that. I've always thought it was really neat, because here where we live, it's acre after acre after acre of these hills. My mom and dad have this land here, and it's 200 acres, and it's covered in these hills, and it goes on. I'm telling you, it is acres and acres, neighboring fields that are just full of these hills. And so whenever I started doing research on the Native Americans and their land and the meaning of their land, I came across an article that said that these mounds were actually pushed up by the Native Americans, and it was for their soil to keep it from erosion. And I thought that was really neat. They said that the hills would be about 3 feet apart, and that they would push the mounds up, push the soil up into mounds, and it would keep the land from eroding, and it would make it where they would have good growth with their crops. And I know now that that's actually what these mounds are, because they are, you can't really tell real good through the video, but they are, most of them are about 3 to 4 feet apart. And like I say, the fields are covered in these mounds. And so just to think that the Native American people were so smart that they knew that they could push these mounds up, and it would keep their fields, the fertilization of their fields really good, so that they would have good crop, is really neat. I wish now that my grandparents, my great-grandparents were living, so that I could tell them, about this. And maybe, there could have been times that teepees were on top of these, but for the main part, it was to keep the soil from erosion. So, I hope that you can see the hills in this video.
So my challenge to you is, the very next time that you're out and about on wide open land, or maybe in your yard where you live, my challenge to you is to think about the Native American Indians and the effect that they had on the land that you are standing on right now at this moment.